If you could build a tool for your market that is universally very useful, it can be used to generate a lot of traffic. In this episode of The Edge, we are going to take a deep dive into the marketing of Grammarly.com. Hey guys, this is Jason with AdSkills.com. Very excited to bring you this episode, and this one is a doozy. I mean, Grammarly.com is spending insane amounts of money online. They're one of the top advertisers in AdBeat. We'll get to it, but like right up there below Apple. To me, this is just simply mind-boggling because when I think of companies that are advertising on this level, I think of Microsoft, Apple, Walmart, McDonald's, Coca-Cola. Maybe those guys are advertising more on TV and outdoor and other traditional long-standing advertising methods, but Grammarly.com is right up there in online marketing, and I just don't see how it's possible. I don't. This one even boggles my mind, but I think it's wildly interesting. They burst onto the scene. It seems like it's been a few years ago now, but I'm sure you remember as well as I do, and still today, just seeing their ads all over the internet, especially YouTube. But let's just go ahead and go to their website. If you don't know what Grammarly is, I'm assuming you do because they do so much advertising to tell you what they are. But for the 5 people out there who don't know what they are, let's just take a look at their headline. Their headline tells us everything. Personalized AI everywhere you write. That's interesting. We'll dissect that. But let's look at the subheader. Instantly generate clear, compelling writing while maintaining your unique voice. I think they really packed those two statements to be very powerful. Even the subheader for me, I want clear, compelling writing, but I don't want to sound like a robot. I don't think we should all sound the same. So that sounds very interesting. And with the header, personalized AI, AI implementation. We're living in the age of AI implementation. It's everywhere. Everyone's thinking about it. So it's kind of fitting that they mention AI there. Don't know if they did that a few years ago, but here definitely they're mentioning AI in the headline. Call to action right there. They're giving away a free account. Same call to action up here, and they've got the sign in with Google. So headline, call to action right there. Lots of white space here. And I thought this was pretty interesting over here too. I don't know if this is a GIF or a video. There's no sound to it, but it's actually giving a visual of what they do. So compose, right? It's showing you the interface. Let's put it this way. I'm always telling people I'm a visual person, so people can tell me something, I can read about it, but I like to dive into visual assets, and what they've done there, very powerful. Just giving you an idea of how this is going to work in Gmail or different programs, let's say Google Docs or whatever it may be. I think it's important to know that we use a lot of tools, right? We do texting, we surf the web, we're on Facebook, we're in a lot of different places. So they're really showing us that Grammarly is everywhere we write. Let's scroll down. And again, that was top of mind, right? Even for me right there. When I scroll down, I see that it integrates into all these programs that I use, these programs that I use, social media. So you don't have to leave your app and go work with Grammarly, then come back. So they've integrated everywhere. As we scroll down here, we start to go more into the features and benefits, from grammar and spelling to style and tone, right? So it's talking about how else it helps you. It's got a visual reinforcement. I really think this is powerful though, actually showing people how something works, right? Very nice to see how that works. Then we go into a testimonial and credibility section featured in the New York Times, Wall Street Journal, USA Today, TechCrunch, Forbes, boom. Then another call to action. I did a little digging. I found the pricing page. I'm actually not a Grammarly user, so I'm actually interested in finding out about their pricing. I should probably just create a free account. They've got a free account, but it breaks down everything that you get. When you look at their pricing, it's a freemium model. So you go from free to premium to business, $12 and $15. And I was really kind of curious about how much they're charging because they're just spending so much on ads. I keep saying that, but I'm just trying to do all the math in my head. Is this whole grammar assistance thing as widespread as people having Netflix accounts? Because, it's a similar type of pricing. It is still breaking my brain on how much these guys are spending, but we'll get into that later. One thing that I wanted to point out very quickly is that they do have an affiliate program. which they say converts as high as 20 to 30%. So I thought that was interesting. As I was further trying to do some of this mental math on how much money these guys are making, I went to their About Us page where they talk about their mission. Very good video right here. And then right here it says actually more than 30 million people and 50,000 teams around the world rely on Grammarly Go. They've acquired a lot of customers. Of course, out of these, I don't know how many might be free accounts, so it might not be too easy to actually figure out the math. So let's jump on over to Google. I Googled Grammarly. Their organic result is right there. They don't have a paid ad at the top, at least for me. Maybe they are bidding on their own brand name and it didn't serve to me for some reason. I'm assuming they probably do, and it just didn't pick me up to serve to me right there. Because you see, when you scroll down, we actually see their ratings there, over 200,000 pretty solid reviews. There you see a competitor starting to sneak in, Pro Writing Aid. That's why you've always got to really be on top of your brand terms, because you have these competitors that want to sneak in and grab a little bit of your market share. So Grammarly is getting pretty solid reviews across the web. All right, let's jump on over into SimilarWeb and see how much traffic these guys are actually getting. 57.2 million monthly visits. I'm sure a lot of that is from people logging in as well, but a lot of that has to be coming from their marketing. Gender distribution split pretty much down the middle. Quite a bit of their user base is tending to skew younger. Now this is something pretty interesting here. I mean, this is something that was going on in the back of my mind, but I'm actually a ChatGPT premium user, so I pay for that subscription. That's a conversation that started to happen in my head, thinking, well, if I have that tool, do I really need Grammarly? So I'm sure they're thinking about this in their board meetings as well. So SimilarWeb shows that a lot of people who use Grammarly also visit ChatGPT. So when we look at their traffic breakdown, over 60% direct, over 20% is organic search. About 5% of their traffic is paid search. Now that may not seem like a lot when we're looking right here, but remember, 57 million visits a month, and a lot of that would be coming from paid ads. 4% email, 3% display. Social breakdown, YouTube is number one. That makes sense. I just see them all over YouTube all the time. Facebook coming in at about 25%. All right, so let's take a look at SEMrush. Wow. Organic search traffic, over 32 million. Their paid is 2.2 million, 19.2 million backlinks. I mean, this is where the numbers start to seem a little bit crazy. All right, so let's take a look at their organic keywords. Of course, they are coming up for their name, the misspelling of their name, which is kind of ironic, don't you think? Oh, yeah. I misspelled it. I won't lie. I wrote Grammarly. I guess I need help too. All right. So this is an interesting one here. Plagiarism checker. I was like, wonder what's going on there. Did they write a blog post about it? Let's see. Jump over here. They actually have a plagiarism checker tool. If you could build a tool for your market that is universally very useful, it can be used to generate a lot of traffic. I imagine there are a lot of teachers, professors, other people using this plagiarism checker. I just know this stuff is happening a lot from high school at least on up. So this is quite a useful tool, and they are ranking number one. They're the number one position for plagiarism checker, and almost 170,000 visits per month on that term, just in the US alone. So let's see what's going on with another term. They rank for the word ethos. What is ethos? History, definition, and examples. So what they're doing here is just explaining what the word ethos means for those people looking this up. Really nice, clean looking article. Unobtrusive call to action there. What is ethos? Yeah, so they go pretty deep into this. Another call to action. Nice. I like it. So these guys definitely have an SEO strategy where they're writing useful articles, providing value, peppering that call to action in, which always makes me curious. I wonder if they're doing the same thing with paid, because the only difference is you can get those paid keywords automatically. Write a high value blog post, boom, start that traffic later this afternoon. But let's take a look. All right, let's go to their top paid keywords. And this is pretty interesting. Even though they were ranking #1 for plagiarism checker, they're still bidding on the term plagiarism checker. I mean, this is a powerful tool. They're hitting it with a double whammy. They're getting all the paid traffic and all the organic traffic. Let's actually see what that looks like. Plagiarism checker. This is pretty interesting. I guess this is why they're bidding on it. I typed in plagiarism checker. We've got Grammarly at #1. They're actually competing against Yahoo here. They've got a plagiarism checker, and this company Chegg, I've actually never heard of them. And then when we get to the organic results, there's plagiarism checker. So you kind of see what would happen, right? If they weren't bidding on this, they'd have this nice slot here, but then you'd see these guys first. So they're really wanting to dominate this term. And we can see other terms they're bidding on. So that is from term to tool, right? They're bidding on some big terms here. Resume templates, cover letter, spell check, plagiarism. I mean, lots of volume there. Well, let's take a look at another one. They're actually bidding on the term cover letter, which has a ton of volume. Wow. So this is pretty interesting. They've got another tool here. It's a cover letter generator. I actually just never would have thought of this. I mean, I didn't know this had existed. So they've got some really high value tools, assuming this works well, right? If you have a resume, you go to cover letter generator, and yeah, that's pretty interesting. Spits out a cover letter. Yeah, so this is kind of starting to get into the chat GPT territory as well. It's a great marketing strategy. Send them to a tool and deliver that value. Show them what your tool can do. All right, let's jump on over to AdBeat, and this is where things get a little bit mind-boggling. So I come into AdBeat, #1, Apple.com, spending almost $500 million in the last few months. I mean, that actually makes sense, though, when you start to think about these guys like Apple, Walmart, Coca-Cola. You know, these are just massive worldwide brands, and it kind of makes sense. State Farm, Adobe, Verizon, Amazon even, YouTube. But look, not far below and actually ahead of Wendy's even is Grammarly.com. I mean, I keep harping on this, but you know, when you think of mainstream, you think of McDonald's or Wendy's, like, hey, everyone, you know, needs food. But I mean, it's just so interesting that Grammarly is at that level of just widespread advertising. So this, of course, invoked my curiosity. When we look here, $171 million in the last few months on YouTube. I bet it's even higher than that, actually. Google Display, almost $2 million. Let's take a look at one of their ads.
Meet Grammarly Go, your go-to solution for getting quality work done quickly.
Ready for the big fish today, Remy? Oh yeah, you got this.
And ensuring peak productivity when you need it the most. Grammarly Go brings AI to every text box, helping you create thoughtful writing in a fraction of the time. You can...
What I love about this ad is not only is it a nice brand piece, but it does a good job of conveying what Grammarly is and what it can do. And a lot of that is just coming through the visuals. Again, they're going back to that strategy that they had on the homepage of just visually showing you what Grammarly does. And that's what they're doing throughout this ad, is showing you little pop-ups from what you might see on your screen, so you can visually start to process information, right? Faster than you can process it verbally. Visually, you can process this information of what Grammarly does. All right, so when I jump over to Socialblade, I see that they have about 500,000 followers on Instagram. Took a quick look at their YouTube, over 200,000 subscribers. Let's take a look at the content on their channel. Their latest piece was 3 weeks ago. We see that they've got a how-to series here, like see how generative AI can help you write better emails, how to write a job description with AI, how to use AI for social media, how to write a cover letter with generative AI. I think this is a really good strategy because a lot of times when I'm thinking about using a tool, whether it's software or something physical, I'll go look them up on YouTube just to dive into it a little bit deeper. Because even, if I'm considering a free tool or $12 a month tool, sometimes I'm just weighing it out in my head against other tools, and before even getting my hands on it and installing all these different softwares across my phone and computer, I just want to take a look at it on YouTube. So I think it's very smart that they're putting this content on there. And they've got a lot of writing tips here, how to start an email, how to write a conclusion. I mean, this is getting at the right audience, right? People who are trying to improve their writing. Right, so they've got a nice mix of content. What really gets interesting, though, is when you sort by popular and you actually want to see their ads. If you want to check this out, you can come on over to YouTube and check them out here. But look at this. I mean, this tells you, again, I keep beating this drum about how much they were and are advertising. And when you see this is the commercial from 4 years ago, about when I remember them really starting to hit things hard. I mean, this is almost 1 billion views, and that's mostly as a paid ad. So almost 1 billion there, over 500 million here, over 500 million. So they were pushing these ads hard. I don't think I've ever seen any ads with more views than this. All right, so let's jump on over to Meta. When we look Grammarly up, we see that they have 63 ads right now. Latest ads launching very recently. Say goodbye to writing woes with Grammarly. They're using a video ad. Unpack any disorder you might have when it comes to these two prefixes and their meanings, dis and un. A little gratitude goes a long way. 12 ways to say thank you. All right, so this first ad is just showing you how Grammarly works. The next couple of ads here, they're actually educating you, which is great. All right, so when I look at their ads, most of them are just talking about the features of Grammarly and what it helps you do, and they're very concise and to the point. And what this tells me is that they've honed in their message, because when you don't have your message honed in, it can take a while to communicate. When you get very clear, though, you can get down to haiku level where you're conveying the meaning in very concise, clear, and short terms. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed geeking out on Grammarly as much as I did. This is Jason signing off, and I'll see you in the next episode of The Edge.